Here we have another Royal Enfield Bullet 500 crankshaft in for a big end replacement, and again this one's not going to be an ASBO crank. I'm not lightening it, just got to split it, sort the big end out. I've been sent a new crank pin, floating bush and hard eye for the big end of the conrod. Change all those parts, put it back together, true it, and that should be the job done. But this is another one. It's going to be a tough act to follow. Very rarely see them like this, although I recently saw another one, didn't I, intrude it after lightening it. We've got 1/1000th of an inch showing on that clock, and probably perhaps not even quite half on that one, and they're rising and falling together. What little twitch of a movement we can pick up on the needles. So that is damn near perfect. And I'm going to have to try and match that after I've fitted a big end to it, a new big end. I'm going to try and get it back as good as that if I can. Certainly going to do the best I can to try and match that. So watch this space. Right, this is the crankshaft from a 500 Indian Royal Enfield Bullet that we've seen in a previous clip before I split it, where I had to replace the big end, but I checked it for any run out between centres in the lathe before I started, and there was barely any movement on the needles on the clocks at all, and I knew it was going to be a tough act to follow. I've split it and rebuilt it with a replacement crank pin, floating bush, and even an outer race or hard eye in the conrod big end, if you like. Some call them hard eyes and some call them outer races. I also had to hone and lap that outer race in order to get the floating bush to fit inside it, because they tend to come slightly sort of undersized, especially once they're pressed into the conrod, and they need a little bit of cleaning up and light honing in order to get a good fit. So I've done that, and I've got the crank all reassembled and trued, and to the best that I can get, I think this is what I'm going to leave it at. Let's give it a spin and have a look. Both clocks reading thousandths of an inch. We're on a scale of 0 to 5 on that one and 0 to 10 on that one. Let's give it a spin and have a look at what we've got. And we can see on this one we've probably got maybe 1.5 thousandths of an inch. Sorry for the bad light. I've turned 1 or 2 lights off because I was getting too much glare on the clocks and you couldn't see them at all. But we can see there's about 1.5 thousandths of an inch on that one, and likewise 1.5 thousandths of an inch on that one. What little movement we got on the needles, they're both rising and falling at the same time, at the same points of rotation on the crank. So in real terms, one cancels the other one out and gives us a real world reading, if you like, of no run out at all, which I'm certainly happy with. And I'm not going to try and get the needles so that they don't move at all. If one had been going up when the other had been going down, I might try and do something about that, but to all intents and purposes we've got no run out on this crank, and it's all ready to go back in an engine. Once we've got one more little thing to do. I've just got to fit the locking screws for the crank pin nuts. Both crank pin nuts are done up tightly. I just didn't put the locking screws in just in case I had to slacken the nuts off and make any adjustments or bump the flywheels one way or another or whatever. But I'm going to quite literally quit while I'm ahead. I'm very happy with that. This will run very, very smoothly in an engine's main bearings and give those main bearings a very easy and hopefully long life. So there we are, another 500 bullet crank ready to go into an engine to become a good runner with a long life hopefully in front of it once again.